again with the pink and black and gold. Forgot to spray my cup. Do it over there. That's just the silicone spray. I've cut down my card just to get a square this time. And I'm going to paint the corners black. And just do a nice big pretty circle. I may get to the corners, I may not. But I've been enjoying like cutting and doing like a pretty circle. And you can make prints of that. So I'm just going to try that. And I'm also going to start doing some round canvases. So I'm going to see how just the one flip cup goes on like a square or a round instead of my usual rectangle surfaces. So that's what I'm going to have a go at now. And the last two pinks, I'll just grab them, were these two. So I'm taking him away, those two away, and I'm using this more sort of a hot pink. This one and the black kind of gave me a brownish colour, so I'm taking those two away and just using this pink. And hopefully I'll get a prettier pour with maybe not so much mud. Who knows? Let's give it a go. Glue and water mix, 70-30, treadmill silicone. I'm going to put 5 drops in the gold and 5 in the pink. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. None in the black, because the black is my opaque colour. What is magenta? Magenta is a transparent colour, and this one's made with sort of transparent. It's made with magenta and white, which is opaque. So transparent and opaque, so I'm not sure. Maybe it's going to be like a semi-opaque. I don't know. I guess we'll find out when we get the rings. If I get pink rings around black cells, then I know it's more of a transparent, or if I'm getting, I guess maybe not any rings. It tends to be the transparent or semi-transparent colours that pop up and make the rings around our cells. I'm going to give that a really good mix in. I'm going to get all the way to the bottom. Probably got way too much paint here for my little surface because I made it all up and then I thought, no, I'm going to cut it down and just make a square and do 1 cup. So I'll just start layering, and then when it gets full I'll flip it over, hey? Let's just do that. I might do some thicker layers too. In fact, let's just do this. Hey, get a nice thick layer of pink, nice thick layer of gold. Oh, hopefully they're not too thick. Well, anyway, let's just have a play and see what happens. It's much quicker going this way, isn't it? Is that 3? 1, 2, 3. I think my first layer was huge. Way too big. I'll keep a bit of black because I want to pop it on the corners. And I think I'm going to have way too much paint. Look at all of that. Oh my gosh. Way too much paint. Having a lot of paint is not a bad thing. You can easily spread it. Okay, so just going to thin that a touch with some water while that other paint is sitting there. And I didn't use my bling gold this time. I went for the darker gold. And it's just called metallic gold. And then this one's just pink. It's the pink I make myself. You can see how I do it on my videos. And then the black. It's basically just magenta and white. As I said earlier. Let's pop a bit of black on the corners. And then if I do end up just getting a pretty circle, that's fine. You can make prints out of your pours. Just take a photo with a really good camera Doesn't tend to work that well with a phone camera, but you can take really pretty photos and send away to get prints made, or cards or calendars and all kinds of things. You can have them put on your favourite mug or your coffee cup, all sorts of things you can have done. Now, the ratios. The pink one, I did 80 grams of pouring medium, I've written it down here, and 120 grams of paint. I needed to thicken that up. So that is 1 part pouring medium and 1.5 parts paint. With the gold, as you know, I always have to thicken those up. I went 1 part pouring medium to 2 parts paint. So I went 80 grams of pouring medium to 160 grams of paint. If you want to convert these, just divide them by 30 and that'll give you the ounces. The black, pretty much 1 to 1, but then I added an extra splash of pouring medium just to thin it out. So it's probably about 120 grams of pouring medium to 110 grams of paint. I'm looking forward to this one. The pink looks really bright next to that. And then in the gold, I've got this little pink hue. It's kind of going like a rose gold. Okay, so I'm just going to flip this straight over and have a big puddle in the middle. Okay, how pretty is that? Yes, you can run off. You're a little bit stripy and blobby down there. All right, let's just let that sit for a bit and pop these big bubbles. Go on, pop. Pop. So satisfying, popping bubbles. Pop. Oh, look at the pink one that just popped up there. Pop. Some of them will get popped when I torch, but I'm not going to get that close really that I'll be able to pop them all. I don't want to pop. There's some more in there, but anyway, let's see. Maybe I can pop them. Gold's kind of got lost, isn't it? There's a bit here. I can see a bit there. Hopefully it'll come up in the way of cells. Let's go. No, behave. Don't do that, you naughty torch. It's because I went around too fast. It doesn't like being shaken up. Do you? You don't like being shooken. Yeah, if you shake it too much, it when it's on, it doesn't like it. It flames up. Okay, so these cells are really small, which is telling me my mix is nice and thick, which is good, which means when I stretch my cells, they should hold their shape, which is good. So as I tilt around in a circle, and I'm not going to go up, down, I'm going to go around. I tend to get the best cells when I just go around, like on, this is another reason why I'm going to do squares. I just find that if I just go in a nice fluid motion around, I get really pretty cells. So cross fingers that works today, since I've got all you guys watching today. Okay, I think that's about enough. Still got a few bubbles here that I haven't popped. See, the torch doesn't necessarily pop all the bubbles. I would have to get really close to pop all these little bubbles, and I don't want to get that close because I'll just get too many cells and I'll get caterpillars, so I don't want to get too close. Alrighty, let's start with our circular motion. So this time I'm going to pick the whole thing up instead of just pivoting on feet. I'm going to pick the whole thing up. And actually I might start with this corner that I don't really like. I'll get rid of him first, eh? Hope you can see. Round and round, here I go, round the other way, and around. Don't worry worry about your black corners, just leave them there and around. And let's just wait and have a look at what it looks like. And if we want to go around again, we can. But generally, just once around is ample. How pretty is that, hey? Pretty, pretty. So yeah, quick, done. You do get really pretty cells like this. It's quick, it's over. And I tend not to want to tilt anymore. In saying that, this is quite busy here. Wouldn't mind getting some more of that off. Love this. Happy with that. Someone says to me, how do you get your background like that with the cells just popping that looks as if they're just floating there? That's how you do it. You don't over torch. You let your cells have some space around each other. Their own little areas. Just wipe that off so you can see where the end is. So I'm really tempted to just tilt this half. I'll see what it's going to do, because if it starts to overstretch all these, then I'm going to stop. Let's try and get some of this to go off. How's that? That just took a little bit off that side there. Hasn't really changed that corner, which is fine. Now I do want to open this area up here, so I'm just going to put my hand under the card and push down that way. Hopefully you can see what I'm doing. Might let that actually go right over the corner. And then just bring that corner back again. So that's just opened that section up a tiny bit. It's so pretty, guys. The gold kind of looks green, a bit green. Once it's dry though, it should be fine. It'll go back to gold again. Now let me see if I can just bend this corner over a little bit. No, I'm not going to play with it. I'm happy with it. I am happy with it. Open this corner up a bit down that way. So the more you start fiddling, the more you're going to stretch everything out, and maybe things will get a little bit more muddy because you're starting to stretch everything again. So once you're happy with it, just leave it. You know, there's always going to be parts of it that you don't really love that much. Now, do I want any more little baby cells in the center? Maybe just a few, hey? Just a few little baby ones. I'm not even touching the surface. Come on. I'm getting a bit chicken. I don't want to get too close and then have a huge amount of a colony pop up in the middle. So what do you think? Do you like that? I don't mind the black corners. It's fine. It picks up the black in the center. Still not really black, this haze. It's from that pale pink. It gives it a haze. Which, you know, if you like background, that's a good thing. And this is how you get these cells to really pop and to look as if they're floating, to get that hazy background. I think I said in my last video when I tried these colours, I want to go back to one of my flip and drags to get the stripes. And I think I'll get a different look because I get more of a bright, stripy background. But when you do that, it's the stripes kind of take away from the cells. When you do it like this and you get that hazy background, that's when your cells really pop. So you can't have it both ways, I don't think. It's one or the other. Had a few little tiny cells pop up here and there. Wouldn't mind a couple more. I just don't want to get too close. Don't know if I'm getting anything there happening at all, because I'm being so careful not to get too close because I don't want a huge colony popping up. I want the background. Alright, I can see a few popping just there, so that'll be enough. I've got some black ones through there and those little tiny pink ones, those are happening. These few here are happening. Take my grubby gloves off. So what do you reckon? I think it's really pretty. Prettier than the last one that I did with the darker pink and the lighter pink. Happy with that. That'll make lovely prints. Okay, let's zoom you in for a close-up. Zoom, zoom. I'm just taking you in for a close-up here. Sometimes you don't get a good idea of the actual colours from up on top of the tripod. But it's quite bright. The pink is really quite bright. I think sometimes if I go too close, I lose the real colour. Look at those cells up there. They're just so pretty, aren't they? There we go. So that is it. Have a go at these colours. Pop them up on the Australian Acrylic Pouring Group page so I can see them. And yeah, maybe I even need more black next time. Process of elimination. Alright, thanks for watching. I'll see you for the next one. Bye for now.